Welcome, everyone, to another edition of News and Views. My name is Elmira. I am your host. As you can see, we do have two special guests today. Our topic is homeschooling for the future. I have with me Geneva McMillian. That's how you say your name, right? Is it McMillian?
Macmillan.
McMillan. Okay,
Macmillan.
I said it
Uh-huh.
right. McMillan and her daughter Nyeema. They are currently homeschooling in North Carolina. I have a passion for doing this story because up until the age of 5, I was homeschooled in Virginia. And before we hit record, I was telling Geneva and her daughter that my parents were actually forced to put me and my siblings into school, particularly my older
Mm,
brother. He was homeschooled until he was 10. Granted, this was in the 1980s. But let me tell you all what was going on then. I'm going to read some of the legalities. Before 1984, Virginia law did not formally recognize home instruction as an alternative to compulsory public or private school attendance. It wasn't until a 1982 Supreme Court ruling that this changed. And I want to tell you about North Carolina too. North Carolinians formed an organization in 1984 called North Carolinians for Home Education to organize families and lobby for legislative change because what was going on in the 1980s, you could not do what Geneva is doing today, and many, many other parents
right.
across the nation and across the world. So, okay, I got to ask you up front, Geneva, what do you think about this? What do you think about how the laws used to be?
That is wild. And I shared some of my thoughts a little while ago before we recorded. If it wasn't for the North Carolina for Home Education group, I wrote it down because I want to do more research on them too to see if they're still around. But if it wasn't for them and everybody else who made noise about this, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. So it's eye-opening to see the history of homeschooling, and that wasn't that long ago. I was born in 1991, so that means like
There you
technically
go.
my mama couldn't have homeschooled me at that time due to the law.
Correct.
So it's mind blowing, but I'm grateful for the changes that have been made to allow me to do it because I couldn't imagine not homeschooling, and I couldn't imagine somebody telling me that I can't. Like, how you gonna tell me what to do with my child? So it's mind blowing.
That is something because there's so many rules and regulations out there still to this day. What would you say is the number one reason that, and I'll have Naima chime in too. What's the number one reason that you selected to start homeschooling?
Well, for me, I think for my mom, it was
Can you
because,
speak up a little bit? I can go
She said a
ahead.
lot.
well, I think it was because my mom, she did experience, well, she noticed that I was getting bullied in my other school, and I think that caused, like, that led to us wanting to homeschool, and so we can do things differently, and we can do things like our own kind of way.
Yeah, agree. And I also saw how intelligent she was. She picks up on things very quickly. So in school, she would just be sitting there like everybody would be working, she would be done, and she just sitting there. And I felt like, nah, let's push her a little bit more because she wasn't being challenged really, like she should have been. So it was a combination of things, but we love flexibility, we love
Hmm.
freedom, we love being able to do come and go as we please. So homeschool just made sense for our family.
That's so critical because you do want to highlight your child's gifts. You were
Yeah,
able to see
absolutely.
her level of intelligence when you started working with her outside of in the classroom. I see this often with the adult students that I teach. Some of them haven't ever been, they haven't learned well because they're,
Mm,
yeah, it's sad, right? They've never been in a classroom where their specific needs were tended
right,
to.
exactly.
It's wild. It's so wild. So I'll ask you both, what was the biggest change that you noticed once the homeschooling began?
Well, I'll say the biggest change I noticed is in Naima, in her personality, in her confidence, in her intelligence. I just noticed she dealt with some anxiety when she was in public school because, like she mentioned earlier, she was experiencing some bullying and it was just a lot going on. And it was just normal elementary kid stuff. But I could see how it was starting to affect her. Once we made the switch to homeschooling, I saw her being more like, it took some time and it took some hard conversations and just allowing her to express her feelings about public school and how those kids made her feel. But now I see her coming out of her shell more. She's like dancing around the house and singing and she's just blossoming. And that's what I want for her. That's what we want for her. And she has also expressed like the getting up early in the morning, having to get dressed, rush out the house, all of that. It don't work for us. It don't work for us.
Not me
We're
either.
not a fan of that. You want to talk more about that?
Well, I also noticed that I slept like a lot when I left my school, and I think
She
that's
did.
because I had a load of pressure on me. Because when I went to school every day, I was thinking, oh, what am I gonna get picked on for today? What's gonna happen today? So I think that I was just resting because of everything that happened to me, and I think I'm really happy that we are homeschooling now. I think this is a great
Oh,
Yeah, that's precious because you brought up something, Naima. There might be a child right now that a parent doesn't understand. Why is my child sleeping so much? Why is my child resting so much? I'm in her same situation. I'm worried about what might happen the next day. That's a lot on a child.
yeah, that was hard. She did sleep a lot. The first few weeks of us homeschooling was really us getting acclimated to it. It was no pressure. I was like, listen, you just came out of something very traumatic. So we're going to give you this time to reset. We were still learning and kind of getting our structure together, how we were going to learn, what are some things we wanted to learn. But she did rest a lot those first few weeks of us homeschooling. And now she just lets her body naturally wake her up. So we normally start our day around 8, 8:30.
Hmm.
Some days it's a little bit later. It just depends on what we did the day before. But I'm glad that she has the chance to get that extra rest in and let her body feel refreshed. But yeah, it just works. It works for us.
Yeah, well, take us back because you were making me reflect on when you first started this journey and you had to make that transition from the public school to homeschool. What was that like exactly? The first, of course, you said we're going to take our time. You don't have to get up early. You don't have to do this. We're going to modify things. But what were some of the adjustments you had to make?
So I'm not a fan. When I was in school, I wasn't really a fan of it. I was smart. I was in honors classes. I got good grades, but I did not enjoy my school experience. I was just there for the fun, for the laughs, for my friends. Okay. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm taking my child's education in my hands. Like, girl, what are you doing? So I had a lot of fear. I had a lot of fear just having that responsibility. So, like I think I mentioned this to you before, but a family that lives in our neighborhood, they are a homeschool family. And I had never met them. But another girl that lived behind me, she told me that they were a homeschool family. So when we started homeschooling, I went right over there to their house and knocked on the door like, help. And when I tell you the mom, she was just so gracious. She sent some resources over. We sat down and kind of had a brainstorming session of what homeschooling can look like. She just really eased my mind when it came to it. So it's been a learning curve for me too, because I don't remember a lot of this stuff. And she does sixth grade work because fifth grade, she already knows all of that,
Oh.
excelling in it. So we bumped her up a grade and started giving her sixth grade work. So the words that she's learning, I'm learning right along with her. Certain math skills, it's that's been the biggest adjustment for me, just having that responsibility and knowing that I'm taking my child's education in my hands. That's scary because we are molding them for when they become adults, when they go out in the
Mm.
world. So just making sure she has those skills, but then honoring what she wants to do in her gifts too. So finding that balance it's a lot, but it all comes together. When I notice once I like relax and breathe, it works out. And she catches on really quickly. So she's a star student for real. And I'm not being biased. She really is a star student. So she makes it easy.
Yeah, that's what's good about it. She can lighten the load on you as the teacher when you have an excellent student. It's
Yes,
like, okay,
absolutely.
I don't even have to stress about this math, this
Exactly.
sixth grade math. Because what
And
is
her
it?
dad is the math whiz. Her dad is the math teacher. I leave that to him. He's got an engineer brain. He's the math teacher.
Oh,
So he does the math with her. I pretty much do everything else. Some things she does independently. But yeah, the math, that's her dad all day.
let them do the math. Y'all stay over there.
Exactly.
Y'all stay over there. Okay, I got to ask you because you were saying, because a lot of parents out there may be on the fence about, hey, I want to homeschool. I was a bad student. I'm like, I don't know these subjects. My child is in seventh grade. I was bad in seventh grade. Like they trying to really figure it out. Could that be a deterrent, or maybe it's actually a good thing that they weren't that good of a student? What you think?
I think it depends on their mindset. If you go in with the mindset like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but we gonna figure it out, you will. But if you go in with the mindset like, oh my God, I'm scared. What if I fail them? What if I don't understand what then if you going in with fear, that's what you're gonna keep experiencing. So it's really as simple as a mindset shift. Just know like, and then it's your child. Who knows your child best than you? Who can see certain things better than you? So it's just simply a mindset shift, in my opinion. If you feel like you can do it and you can get it done right along with them, you're going to do it. You're going to find a way to do it. You're going to figure it out. And there's a ton of resources to help you too. I think once people realize that, like it's not just you having to come up with everything, there's a ton of resources. And I'll share some too if we have time for that. But there's so many resources that help us lighten the load. So it's just a mindset shift, in my opinion.
Yeah, because sometimes we just think, oh, I can't do it, or we
Mm-hmm.
believe, okay, this is actually harder
Yep.
than it is. Because Naima, was there something, a subject that you really enjoyed that you thought was more challenging than it actually is? And then once you did it, you said, oh, this is actually fun. Like, I like this.
Well, I wouldn't say vocabulary for me because at first I was like, I think this is a little hard. But once I got into it, I'm looking forward to doing my vocabulary words every week. And I'm ready for my spelling test.
Yeah.
And I just love it. That's probably one of my favorite subjects
Really?
in homeschool. It's just relaxing for me for some reason.
You said
It's
vocabulary is relaxing?
Yeah.
It is so
Oh,
that's so
okay.
funny to me because there's a video on our homeschool page that went viral, and it was of her having to look up a word in the dictionary
Now
because
that
she gets so irritated when she has to look in the dictionary. But I noticed this is how I know things work too. The vocabulary words that she's learning, I will hear her saying them around the house. And these are big words that I sometimes I don't even know these words. So I'm hearing her use the words in her sentences, and I'm like, okay, girl, let's go. So yeah, that I can see why you said that might have been a little challenging because where your spelling book at?
is
Go grab it right quick. I'm gonna show you one of the
oh
words
no,
that
it's
people.
downstairs.
Okay, never mind. Don't worry. I was gonna show you some of the words, but it's sixth grade
Yeah,
vocabulary.
I
So
have like
yeah,
You have what? Oh, what did
it's
you
like
say?
long. I said I have long words sometimes, like very long words. Like it might have 8 letters or something.
Oh, you're a wordsmith. I love it. Because one thing that's good about vocabulary, it makes you an excellent speaker.
that's what I've been
Yeah,
trying to tell her. That's exactly what I tell her.
Because now, especially with the advent of AI, So many
Hmm.
people are dependent on
Yep,
tools to speak for them, to write for them, to do whatever for them. And I think this is with students and adults, young people and adults. Forget tools like AI, you still need to know the vocabulary to put the prompt in.
exactly.
So, because if you
Exactly.
don't know what to ask it, you still at a loss. You trying to figure out
Exactly.
something, and it's like you don't know what you're looking for.
Right. Exactly.
And so that brings another question to mind. Do you all use, because I know you said father is the engineering, more mathematical mind, do you all use some type of STEM style things in the curriculum too?
Yes. So we do STEM usually on Thursday. Oh, this
Hmm.
she got her spelling book. We usually do STEM
Oh,
on Thursdays. And so we just find like little cute projects. She has a STEM book, like a STEM activity book that has different little projects you can do. So we'll just pick something out of there. We've also gone to Discovery Place Science in Charlotte, and that's like a STEM headquarters. It's just all things STEM,
Yeah,
science.
it's
It's
really
so
fun.
cool. So we took some things that we learned from there and we've incorporated that into our curriculum. Like we learned about gyroscopes one time and we took like a bike tire and learned how to make a gyroscope. So yeah, we did. And she went to a STEM school, not the school that we pulled her out of, but the school she went to before that because we moved. But that was a STEM school. So she already was aware of those different paths. And so we just kept the ball rolling from what she already knew.
sweet. Okay, what's in that book? I want to know what's in that book.
So
I
this
gotta see.
vocabulary book, it is sixth grade, and it
Just
just
open to a random page and read a word. It's not all hard words. Like it might be a word in there like petty or
Hmm.
esophagus or something like that.
so these I do 4 words every week, and then I do a test on for them on Friday. So some of these words it has majority, lunch, fastidious. Is that
Fastidious. Fastidious. Like I never knew what that was.
I've never heard of that word.
Me
So
either.
I learned something new. A verb is that how you say
A
it?
verb. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just like different words. Some of these I've heard of, some of them I haven't. It's a mixture, and I think it's a good way for me to like learn different words and learn vocabularies, like the definitions of them.
Yeah.
Hmm. I like it. I like it. I love it. It's like
Yeah.
you can teach me something because that's one thing I learned too. I always learn from children.
Yep. They are our greatest teacher.
People
They
may
really
say,
are.
"What you mean?" I do. I don't. I'm not that person who says, "Oh, I'm too old," or the young
Mm,
people are acting like this, or the younger generation did this, and
yeah.
I guess I never understood that because as we shift, and one of the things you mentioned about the laws, we can make a change.
Right.
When we do make
Absolutely.
those changes, we have to give recognition to what the younger generation is doing, what they are capable of,
Absolutely.
what they're,
Absolutely.
and so that brings something to mind. What have you learned from her? What have you learned from Naima? What has
Well,
she?
you know what? It's been so well, first of all, these words, because some of these words I had no clue about, so the words, but I have learned a different type of like resilience, a different type of strength. And I'm not trying to get mushy, but of course I'm learning the academic stuff along with her, but I just see her dedication. And because I was nervous that when we started homeschooling, that she was like not gonna want to do it and just be chilling and playing and stuff. But when I tell you she be locked in, she get up in the morning, she do her morning routine, and that alone inspires me because sometimes it take me a little while to get going.
Yeah,
But she
I can definitely say that.
it take me a little
She
while to get
telling on
going.
you. She
Yes, it do take me a little while to get going. And I don't drink coffee. So I'm like, oh my God, I gotta figure out a way to get up faster. But she be locked in. Okay. She gets her work done. She puts on her little lo-fi beats. She gets to work. She does her research. And just seeing her dedication to her own education and seeing how serious she takes it, that makes me proud, and it makes me like, okay, well, let me get on my stuff because sister girl is on it. So just seeing her resilience and her dedication is made me look at my own journey like, yeah, you need to lock in like your twin doing right now because she be on it. She be on
I that is so cool because it fascinates me that children are born with their own personality, their
it.
own
Right.
gifts,
Mhm.
okay? Because I know I'm one of six, and each of
Oh
the one thing
wow.
that my mom told me, she said it was kind of challenging raising y'all because I had six personalities in the house. I ain't know who was gonna do
Oh,
what. It was gonna be you and him, and this. I said, yeah, that
oh,
kind of do.
shout out to mama. She was a trooper.
Yeah, six of us. And I mean, we all went to college and businesses
Nice.
and degrees and all that. Yeah, two. Matter of fact, I don't think I told you this. Two of my sisters, they teach in the public school.
Really? Oh, wow. I would
Yeah.
like to hear their perspective of what's going on their end too.
Me too. Well, I can say so. One of them, she teaches elementary. Another one
Okay.
teaches high school. So I find that the one who teaches elementary, there's a lot of restrictions on the teachers. I
Yeah.
mean, they're making, let me tell you what happened last week. My sister was at the school on a Sunday because they, yes, they, right, both of y'all's faces. They gave some type of regulation over the weekend that they needed to do this for the testing. You know, they have the standardized
Right.
testing. So there was
Hmm.
some additional rules, some additional, both of them are often complaining about the number of meetings. I'm like, what are we doing? It's just school. Why are we meeting to
Oh my
it's
God.
not that serious.
Right.
So to me, what you all are doing is what a lot of parents are turning to because and the teachers as well. Because what I can foresee is for those parents who may not be as bold and have the same mindset as you, they might want to hire a teacher who's
Oh
like, I'm
yeah.
done with the public
Yeah.
school. Do
And
you
that's the
know
part.
that happening in with any of your people?
So I don't know anybody personally who has done that, but I have said that I feel like at some point in my life we may hire some help to come in and just make sure we're on track for North Carolina standards. I mean, we can just look it up and go by
Mm-hmm.
that. But I really want to have somebody else work with her once I'm at a because I feel like my life is going to start getting a little more busier, and she's going to still need that support because if she decides to stay homeschooled, she'll still need that support. So I'm all for bringing in outside help if needed, and if you can afford it, I'm all for it.
Yeah, because you know, we often hear that phrase, it takes a village. It really
Absolutely.
does because you need all of these avenues, you need different
Mhm.
resources like that book, so an inquiry is coming to mind because I know you said Monday is music. How did you all
Mhm.
decide to make Monday the music day?
We oh, you want to go? Okay.
Well, really, it was kind of my idea. I was like, well, how about we kind of mix some of the specials that start with the same letters? So,
Mhm.
like Music Monday, I'm trying to look at the board. Wellness Wednesday, we do wellness for a special sometimes.
Mhm.
And
Library
yeah,
Thursday,
library,
finance, entrepreneurship Friday,
finance
film on
Friday.
Tuesday. Oh yeah, finance Friday. That's my favorite. But we had it differently. We had the music on like a different day all before, and we just recently, maybe in the last 2 months, she came up with the idea like we should do music Monday, finance Friday, like wellness Wednesday. So that was all her idea, but it works too because Mondays is more of like a low key chill day for us. And I feel like
Mm.
music, that's the perfect way to honor that. So she practices her piano. We might do some singing. She might watch some music videos. It varies, but that's my favorite because I love music. So that's my favorite special. And Finance Friday. I love Finance Friday too.
Yes, all about that money.
Yes.
I want to talk more about the music because that's how I got connected with you. I found your video from the New Edition concert
Oh
and the both
yeah.
of you going. I said, this is remarkable. Okay, we got a 10-year-old loving the New Edition. I was like, how she know the songs? I said, this is so Naima. What got you into New Edition or even some of the other artists that you love? Oh, her, your mom.
So Sunday we like clean up the house and she always plays music. So from the music she plays, I started listening to it myself and I was like, oh, this is some really good music. And so I think I started like diving deeper
Yeah.
into the artists and like the 90s R&B, the hip hop, and I think that's how I became more like loving it. Like I love 90s R&B.
Hmm. Me
Yeah. And
too.
me too. That's my favorite. That's literally all I listen to. And she's right. Like I play music all the time. Like that's all I do when we getting dressed. I'm playing music. When we chilling, I'm playing music. When we cleaning up, I'm always playing music. So she'll hear a song and be like, "Mama, who is that?" And she'll go run to YouTube, look them up, and she'll go down a whole rabbit hole. And that's kind of what happened with New Edition. She knew about them because her dance class performed Candy Girl back in
Oh.
the day. And she has always liked that song, even when she was a baby. She I got a video of her singing it when she was like 2 or 3. She's always loved that song. And then here in the last few years, she really started listening to them. She says that their songs help her learn how to sing. And then they kids and they sing about kitty stuff. So that's why I like her listening to that. In the 90s R&B, it's just a vibe. Take me back to the 90s because that's literally all we listen to is old school. And I have my mom to thank for that. My mom did the same thing. She was always playing music. So it's just going down the line.
We had a similar thing too. I distinctly remember, like, my dad, he was a musician playing the saxophone and he played a whole lot of
Oh, nice.
instruments. He went by the name Eli King. He did like reggae and all this. Yeah, he was big into that. And then, of course, my mom, she enjoyed music too. We were in the choir at church growing up. And if my
Yeah.
dad really had it his way, we would have been the next Jackson 5. We
Ah,
didn't.
well, it's
No,
not too late.
I don't know about that. Like,
Y'all can still put a band together. Y'all can still
we
go out there.
can. We have done stuff together, like me and one of my sisters and my cousin, but
Okay.
as a whole family, we never really did that outside of the choir. But
It's never too late. That's all I'll
it's
say.
it's not. It's not. Okay, that brings to mind because you know the Michael Jackson movie is coming up this weekend. Are y'all gonna go see it?
Yes,
Definitely.
me and my mom will
Most definitely.
definitely be running down to the movie theater to go see
We love Michael Jackson real bad. So I'm so excited. I got my sequin dress. I'm ready. I
Uh-oh.
just need to get a glove. But we are most definitely going to see Michael Jackson. And she likes Jackson 5 too. She likes Michael Jackson. She listens to some of his songs,
it.
but she's more of a
She's
Jackson
more of
5.
a fan.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Michael Jackson down.
It's something about children because my nephew, when he was your age, Naima, and younger, he loved Jackson 5.
Oh
He
wow.
started, yeah, he came, it's almost like he came out the womb knowing Jackson 5. Like, let me tell you,
That's
it
so
was
cute.
2 or 3 years for Halloween, he dressed as Michael Jackson. I'm talking when he was 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
I love that the kids know about Michael
They,
Jackson.
and then my boyfriend's nephew, who is 5 now, he loves Jackson 5 as well.
Yeah. I
I'm like,
love it.
what's
I
up with the
love it.
Jackson?
They are timeless. Their music is timeless. Their story is amazing. But
Hmm.
the music is just timeless.
Yeah. Cause what have you seen, especially with this Music Monday, that's the connection between this 90s R&B or some of these tunes, which is maybe helping Naima in the other subject matters. The music
Well,
helping.
yeah, so her learning So she has a keyboard. She has a little keyboard piano, and she like self teaches herself different songs. So that makes me think like, okay, she's good at like figuring things out, which kind of helps us with STEM because she likes to do like hands-on things, things that she has to try to figure out. So watching her learn songs on her own, I don't know anything about the piano. Now her aunt did teach her a few songs that she's been practicing, but all the other songs she's learned it on her own. So watching her do that. Then we had one day where we learned about the different ways that music has been played over the years. So she learned about like the record players, she learned about like the cassette tapes, CDs, all of that, iPods, 8 tracks. She was learning about all of that. And so that just shows her like the innovation of life. And we talked about Black innovators before. So it's like everything we do is connected in some way. But music, that's one of our favorites. And I just see her growing in her gift of singing and learning piano, and she can name all facts about these artists, like where they from and they mama name and all kind of stuff. I'm like, girl, how do you know this? But she's like me. I was the same way when I was younger. I used to research a lot. I used to want to know like who is this? How did they get started? What's their story? And I'm noticing her doing the same. So I'm just seeing her all of her gifts come out, and everything that she's doing, she fascinates me. She really blows my mind. I'm really not just saying this
Oh,
because
I
this is my
know you're not.
she is really that girl for real.
Where do you, well, speaking of you being that girl, I kind of hate when people ask this question because you're already in that position. You know, when people are like, what do you want to be when you grow up? She is already who she is right now. So ain't
Yes.
no, I'm not saying you're not going to grow up, but people make it seem like you got to wait till a
Hmm.
certain age to do something big, but that's just not true. But Naima, have you thought about something maybe you want to pursue in the next couple of years or next 4 years?
Well, I have been wanting to go to cosmetology school when I get older, and I think that's what I want to focus on because even since I've been like little, like 3 or 4, I noticed that I've loved to do like hair, makeup, nails. Like that's always been my thing.
Yep.
So I think that's what I want to focus on, and I want to go to cosmetology school so I can learn even more about those things.
Yep.
Mm. You know,
Hmm.
you can go really far with that too. It's some people, because people will design their own hairstyles, they'll have their
Hmm.
own makeup line, everything. Because sometimes people just think, oh, it's just hair. No, it's not. It's
Deeper than that.
deeper than that.
Yep. And on Fridays we do finance/entrepreneurship Fridays. So that's her day. She has like a little wig head on her desk, and she has a wig on it, and she has like the curling irons and all the things. So she'll mess with that. She has like a mannequin hand. She does nails. She does our nails. So we really try to nurture that. We noticed that in her very young, like she said. We've toured a cosmetology school as one of our field trips.
Oh,
One of our cousins, she works there, and she brought us in and let us look around. And I think that really solidified it for her. Like, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. So just making sure we nurture that. And if it changes, whatever it changes to, we'll nurture that too. But I really think that's what she gonna end up being when she gets older.
which is, I find amazing because I didn't, I mean, when I was your age, I always wanted to be a singer. That was my big
Oh,
thing. I just knew I was going to be the next Whitney Houston. I'm like, I'm going to go and be, because I love music, but I didn't, once I found out the music business and I'm like, okay, I
mm-hmm.
don't want to go that route. I'd rather be independent. I still made some music on my own, but I just didn't fully go that route. I end up doing a similar thing as you, Naima, massage, which falls in line with the nails and the hair and being at the spa and but I learned how to do massages, which was I didn't think I was gonna do that, but ended up being there too. In addition to Other skills, and that's the thing with I find with life, gotta be
Hmm.
flexible
Yes, absolutely.
because you don't
Uh,
know what could come up. What would you say to parents? Because right now we're ending the year of this particular school year, but they're probably parents thinking, what am I going to do with my child next year? What would you say to them to help them make this decision? Do they continue with the public school or do they pursue homeschool?
it's a lot of different variables with that. It's a lot of things that you have to think about. I would say if you've been feeling that nudge, definitely do some research. Start there. Do your research, see what's required, see what resources you already have around you, get in contact with some groups, and then make sure that you can set aside. If you have younger kids, it's easier. If you have older kids, it's easier because there's so many different online programs. They're already in their groove of schooling. They know what they need to do. So it's a little bit easier if you have older children. But for the babies and for the elementary school students, middle school, just do your research and make sure that you are in a position to where you can homeschool. So ideally, that would be somebody who works from home. People who work from home, they're like, oh, I can't work from home and homeschool at the same time. If there's a will, there's a way. You can figure, I
Mm,
promise you, you can figure it out if you need to. And if you can't figure it out, or if your circumstances won't allow you to do it, you need to be trying to think about how you can shift your circumstances to be able to do it. And I shared with you when we first met about the sacrifice I had to make about leaving corporate America. And I wasn't leaving corporate America thinking that I was going to be homeschooling immediately, but that's what happened.
mm,
So just making that sacrifice and building up my businesses and making sure I'm living my life in a way where I can homeschool her. So just doing the research, setting yourself up to be able to homeschool your child successfully, and just starting with what you can. Like you might not be able to be there with them every second of the day while they're homeschooling, but they have Me Academy, they have education.com. There's so many online curriculums that your child can do that is fun, that is entertaining, it's educational. So it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about. But if you've been feeling the nudge, definitely start following those little nudges that you feel, and you'll get the breadcrumbs along the way of what you need to do. Because I had no idea what I was doing going into it. I just started doing my research. I was like, okay, I can do this. They said submit this. They said name your homeschool. And I'm just reading off the requirements and I'm just doing it step by step and just doing stuff as it was coming. So yeah, I think I think a lot of families are getting ready to transition into homeschool. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. And I'm excited that I've been doing it for a little while now,
mm-hmm.
where I can be a resource. I can help out a family. I was just talking to my cousin. She's gonna homeschool her daughter next school year. And we live right across the street from each other. So
Oh,
it's gonna be I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm excited for all the new homeschool families coming up.
because how long have you been homeschooling?
So we did our first round of homeschooling back when I was 3 and 4, right before she went to pre-K. That
Mm-hmm.
was more so just getting the foundation and the basics. But we started again officially last year in February. So this year made a year, February made a year. But we're in our second school year. So last year when we pulled her out, she was in the middle of the school year. We completed that one successfully. She's in a new school year now. So we got 2 school years down and several more to go, but it's working out.
Yeah, and more to go. Mention those resources again. You said, is it education.com?
Yes. So education.com is what we're currently using. That website, I love it. It has worksheets for everything that you can think of. Okay. So you're not trying
Mm-hmm.
to make your own worksheet. It's already built in there on their website. They have games, they have where you can like create a curriculum using the different lessons in the worksheets. I love it. So that's what we're currently using. There's also another one called Me Academy that we started off with. We started off there because we wanted to still make sure that her lessons were in alignment with what she was learning in school. And then we realized, okay, she's speeding through this, so let's bump her up a little bit. So Me Academy is a good one. What is the other one? Khan Academy Kids. Khan Academy Kids is good. Um, I feel like I could compile a list of the homeschool room. If you're in North Carolina, the homeschool room is a
Oh,
store.
homeschool room. Okay.
Yeah, it's in Matthews, North Carolina. And that store has everything you can think of that a homeschool parent would need. It has big curriculums, small curriculums, workbooks. We actually got this workbook and some more stuff from there. So the homeschool room in Matthews, North Carolina, that's another great resource. And people travel near and far to go there. So it's cool. But yeah, if I think of anything else,
Yeah, let
I'll
me know because I can add it under the notes of this
yeah, that'll be
video.
great. I'll
That
get it to you.
way people know because the numbers are definitely growing. I looked it up. Back in 1983, it was only 93,000 families across the United States that homeschool. Then in 1990, 275,000, and now it's close to 4 million.
I love to
Yeah.
hear it. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so
I
it's
love it.
growing and growing and growing because people
That
are
is so good.
realizing like your situation, the students, the children are doing better at home. Being able
Mhm.
to display their skills, being able to go at their own pace, not being held back. None of that is occurring.
And that you just made me think of something. I was talking about how Nyeema speeds through her work, but some parents may have a student who takes more time trying to figure something out, and their frustration with the school is, well, y'all speeding through these topics, and my child is lagging behind. That's another benefit of homeschooling. Y'all can go at your own pace. You just said something about pace, and it made me think about
Mhm.
that. So that's a gift in itself. So your child can actually retain and understand what it is that they're learning because you can spend all the time that you need. There's no time limit that says you got to be done with this subject by this day. It's your own. So if you need to work, like we've had things in math and in reading that it took us a little while to get through it, and we had to keep revisiting it to make sure that she understood it. So that's another benefit that I wanted to call out too. If your child is struggling, homeschool them and you do it at your own pace. Y'all learn it together and take all the time you need.
Right. What do you
Hmm.
see as a possible challenge? Because you alluded to it earlier with a parent working from home and then homeschooling their child or children. What could be a challenge of that parent working from home and then having the child at home too?
Oh, so I've done that before. I've worked from home and had her here at the house with me. And depending on what your job is, it can be a lot to juggle. So I was a solution consultant all before at a tech company, and I was always in meetings. I was always trying to figure
Mm.
something out. Like I couldn't focus on both things. I wouldn't have been able to homeschool her during that time because my mind just wasn't there. You really have to be at like a calm, relaxed state to homeschool. You can't be like like frazzled or
Oh
whatever. So
yeah.
that can be a challenge if you're working from home and trying to homeschool. But on the flip side, you can create a schedule and a curriculum that works for that for the time being. But I also encourage parents to come up with an exit strategy. If you're not feeling the workforce no more, you're not feeling the work from home, you just want to find freedom in whatever your career is, start making the changes to bring that forth into your life. But if you still have to work from home and have to homeschool, just try to find that balance as much as you can. It's going to be hard, but you have to try to find that balance and set your life up in a way to where you will have that flexibility. So whether that's doing different hours, taking a different position that's not
Mm.
as busy, just or finding a whole nother job if you need to, finding a job that will fit and just writing out what you want your life to look like. That's been a game changer because everything I'm living right now, I wrote it all out. I wrote it all out. I said I want to homeschool my baby again, and this was she started at the school she was at. I remember writing it down. I want to go back to homeschooling her, and it wasn't even a year later we were homeschooling. So I hate how it happened. I hate the incident that took place to make us homeschool, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful because that kind of pushed us out there. Because I don't know how long it would have took me to just make that leap. We were kind of forced into it. I want to mention that too. We were forced into homeschooling, but it worked because I wanted to do it anyway.
Because you know what, Geneva, this is one thing I've noticed over my life. When I've asked God for something like, I want to
Hmm.
homeschool, I want to start my business, I want a new career, whatever it was, I want a new car. Let me tell you about a situation. I wanted a new car, but it didn't come how I thought it was. I got in an accident, but I got a new car. That was, but you see what I'm talking about.
Yep. That's how, yeah, yeah.
It won't intend it, but I got, it was so funny because I was on my way to get a massage that day, early in the morning, not even a mile from my house. A lady hit me, totaled my car. I was injured. I ended up having to go to the chiropractor for a number of weeks, but her insurance paid for everything. I got my new car. My
Okay.
mom even gave me money for a down payment. But that's how I find that's kind of how life is. If we ask for
Hmm.
something, I want to homeschool. I want to homeschool my child.
Hmm.
We don't know how it's going to work out.
Right.
It may
But
be
it
all
will though.
yeah,
It
twist
it
and turn.
always it always works out. And I know it's scary. I know it's scary if you taking a leap of faith to homeschool. It's scary, but just know like it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. It may be some bumps, it may be some hurdles, some challenges, but it's just helping you grow in your journey. So yeah, I'm thankful that everything happened the way that it did. I hate how it happened, but I'm thankful that it
Yeah.
did.
And that's how you got to approach it. You got to approach it with gratitude because
Exactly.
we
Exactly.
we obviously with us about 6 years ago experiencing COVID, we got
Right.
all kinds of other stuff happening in the nation across the world. We really don't know what's next. So for me, I don't have any children myself, but if I did, I would rather have my child at home than at the school. And I don't
Hmm.
even know, is there going to be a school shooting? Is there going to be a this? Is there going to be a bully?
Ooh.
Is there going to be, it's, that would be overwhelming for me to worry about all that stuff. I,
And it's a lot. And I know the parents that's listening to this, they feel that every day. I talk to parents who have their children still in public school and they just talk about the things that's going on. And it's heartbreaking because it's like, well, I gotta work and I gotta do this. So I gotta put my child in school. And that's how a lot of parents are living. And I pray every day that any parent who feels that nudge to homeschool, that they actually follow it. Just give it a try. Reach out to people. You might have to hire some help or a tutor or somebody.
mm,
But if you've been feeling that nudge, you can make it work for sure. It's just about that mindset shift that I mentioned earlier. Just believing that you can do it and that it's going to work out. If you're doing something that you know is for your highest good, for your family's highest good, it has no choice but to work out.
yeah, it's got to work out. Well, as we close, do either of you have anything final you want to share, maybe for parents? Oh, and let people know how they can, because I know there's certain videos you share about education and things. How can people stay connected with you?
Yeah, so we do have a homeschool TikTok page. It's at Peaceful Journeys School, all together. At Peaceful Journeys School, that's where we post our homeschool content. And yeah, that's where all our homeschool stuff is.
You said it's Peaceful Journeys with an S?
Uh-huh. Yep,
Okay,
Peaceful Journeys School.
school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on TikTok. So
Yep.
everybody, make sure you visit Peaceful Journeys
Yeah.
School on TikTok. You can follow Miss Geneva, Nyeema, see what they're cooking up over there.
And
Get some
we be cutting up over
tips.
there too, y'all. So
Oh, you
just a
cook
heads
too?
up. No, I said we be cutting up over
Oh,
there
what
on
y'all be doing
TikTok.
over there?
Just acting up, dancing, cutting up. She be playing the piano. We just be doing the most sometimes. I love
But
it though.
that's how
But
it
we do.
should be.
Yeah, and
It's
I love it. And I feel
fun.
like that's us documenting our journey too in a way because I want to go back and see those memories of what we did. So that was another reason why we started that page and people just started gravitating toward it. People who were interested in homeschooling, people who are already homeschooling. So I just want to say I love this homeschooling journey. I especially love that I get to do it with you. And thank you for having us on because I've been getting a lot of questions about our homeschool journey. And I think this will give people a glimpse of what our day to day looks like, some of the things we're working on. So thank you for reaching out. I'm glad you saw our video. I appreciate you having us on. And I will be sending this out to some families I know who have had questions about homeschool. And we'll put some clips of it on our homeschool page too. So thanks.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's what it's about. When people have those questions, they just don't know. I've
Right.
discovered people are scared. They're scared to take that leap of
Exactly.
faith because they want to know every step. But if you
Yep.
can give them a
Yeah.
clearer idea, okay, we did this, we
Hmm.
got this resource, go to school.com, okay,
Yep.
you're alleviating some of my worries. I can be
Right.
okay.
Mhm.
Because it can be scary because we've been taught, think about it, we've been taught as parents, as workers, as you supposed to go to work to provide for your child. The child goes to school. But then what if all that's not working well? And now you got to figure out, okay, how I'm going to pay for the home household experience
Yep.
and take my child to school. It's stress.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot.
It's too
It's a
much
lot.
stress, but there is another way, and the beautiful thing too, now there's communities which can
Yep.
support and help. There's tutors, there's teachers, there's other parents, there's networks which can assist you so you don't have to feel like I got to quit my job or I got to
Right.
do this or I got to,
Exactly. Exactly. There's
because you
support for
don't.
every level of homeschool. There's support for it. Whether you don't know what you're doing, because that was me, or whether you know what you're doing, just need a little
Hmm.
guidance, support. It's something for everybody. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, Naima, you got anything extra you want to say or share?
No, I think I'm all good.
You all good. Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
She probably gonna
Okay.
think of something when we get off. She gonna say, "Mama, I should have said XYZ." What before we hang
But
up?
it's okay. It's we can maybe do a part two or something.
That sounds good to me. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
what's that?
I said thank you so much.
Yes, much gratitude. Well, everybody, this has been another edition of News and Views. We will see you next time. Peace.